Welcome to this step-by-step tutorial on how to embed report content from reference doclets and reference files in Enterprise Performance Reporting Cloud. As a doclet author, you can embed report content into your doclets from a reference doclet or a reference file. Reference doclets are common stores of reporting content that are authored and refreshed by another author. This common report content can be shared across a report package. Reference files allow authors to create their own report content within Excel and then embed the content within their assigned doclet. Reference files are attached and maintained with the doclet. In both cases, you use Excel's named range functionality to define Excel report content, such as graphs, charts, and tables, as content that is available for embedding. The advantage of reference doclets is the available content can be embedded in a doclet by any doclet author with view access to the reference doclet. However, reference doclets can only be created by report package owners. The advantage of reference files is that any doclet author can create available content in a spreadsheet and then embed it in their doclet. However, the available content of reference files is not commonly shared within a report package and is only associated with the doclets in which it is embedded. Whenever a reference doclet author modifies the available content of a reference doclet and checks it in, the system automatically refreshes any doclet that has the embedded content. Whenever a doclet author modifies the available content in a reference file and uploads the changes, the content is refreshed in the associated doclet. Both Word-based and PowerPoint-based report packages support embedding content from reference files and reference doclets. This tutorial focuses on embedding reference doclet and reference file content in Word-based report packages, but the procedure is the same for PowerPoint-based report packages. I have been assigned as the author of this doclet, and I want to embed available content from both a reference doclet and a reference file in this doclet. I open the doclet in SmartView and check it out. This doclet is the target doclet where I want to embed content. First, I want to add report content that was created within a reference doclet. I'll select the area in my doclet where I want to embed the content, and then click the Embed button. I can see all of the available report content within the reference doclets to which I have been given view access. In this example, there is just one. I select the available content I want to embed and click OK. The available content is embedded into the doclet. The embedded content is content controlled, which means I cannot edit it, but I can move it around, delete it, position it on my report, and so forth. I also want to embed some report content that I created within an Excel file. Through the embedding process, I will attach that file to my doclet. I'll select the area in the target doclet where I want to embed content from the reference file, and then click the Embed button. This time I click New Range. In the Source drop-down menu, I select Local File, and then browse to an Excel file that already has a named range defined. The named ranges in the file are shown. I'll select the name range that I want to add as embeddable content, rename the range, and add a description, and then click OK to embed the range into the doclet. When my work is complete in the current doclet, I upload it and then check it in. If I return to the Report Center and inspect the doclet, I can see the embedded content from both the reference doclet and the reference file, including the date and time the content was added. What happens if the reference doclet author updates the available content in the source reference doclet, or a doclet author makes changes to the available content in a reference file? First, let's look at refreshing content from a reference doclet. In SmartView, as the reference doclet author, I'll check out the reference doclet, make some changes to the available content, upload the reference doclet, and check it in. When I go back to the Report Center and preview the doclet, I can see that the embedded content from the reference doclet is updated in the doclet. If I inspect the doclet, I can see when the reference doclet was last updated. Refreshing content from a reference file requires a few more steps. In SmartView, I check out the doclet that contains the reference file I want to modify. I'll inspect the doclet. On the Embedded Content tab, I select Available Files, click the reference file that I want to modify, and sign in to open the file in Excel. I make the desired changes to the available content, upload the file, and then close the file. After I upload the reference file in Excel, I am returned to the Doclet. You can see that the content is not refreshed yet. I refresh the embedded content. You can see that the embedded content from the reference file is now refreshed. I upload the Doclet and check it in. When I go back to the Doclet in Report Center and preview the Doclet, I can see that the embedded content from the reference file is updated in the Doclet. If I inspect the Doclet, I can see when the reference file was last updated. Notice that you can also download reference files directly from the web and upload them back to your Doclets. In this tutorial, you learned how to embed and refresh report content within report packages. For more information, please visit cloud.oracle.com.